Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about inverse variation. We're starting with chapter 11 in section 1. So one of the definitions you see in this chapter, which might be review that you saw from last semester, is what we call inverse variation. And the definition of it is, in an inverse variation, y is said to vary inversely as x. And there's a formula that you use working with inverse variation. And the formula for this is y equals k over x. Since it didn't type out for me, it's actually k over x like this. So y equals k over x, or x times y equals k. And k is what we call the constant of variation. So what we're going to do in this section is we're going to do some different examples working with inverse variation in the formula to help you have a better understanding so that when we get into chapter 11, when we work with graphing, we're going to be using this formula here. So let's try some examples. Example number 1, it says if y varies inversely as x, y equals 4, and x equals 12, they want us to write an equation that shows how y is related to x. Well, we can use the formula y equals k over x, or we could use the formula x times y equals k. Now with what's given to you, your y and your x, I think the best formula to use for this is going to be the second one, where we're multiplying x, which is 12, times my y, which is 4, and that's going to give me my k, and my k is going to equal 48, and that is my answer. That's all we have to put. So what they're going to ask you in your homework tonight is setting up an equation based on what's given to you. Maybe they'll give you y, maybe they'll give you x, or maybe they'll even give you k, and using one of these formulas here, you have to set it up to solve for either x, y, or k. Alright, so the answer here is k equals 48. Moving on to example number 2, sometimes you'll see a chart, and using the information given in this table chart, they want us to write an equation that shows the relationship between these two different variables. So for P, notice we have 3, 4, 5, 6. For Q, we have 20, 15, 12, and 10. Well, for this chart right here, we have to show the relationship going on. And so this is an inverse variation right here. And the way I would recommend setting this up is looking at your P, which is 6, looking at your Q, which is 10, and you're going to multiply it. 6 times 10 is going to give me 60. And so 60 is going to be, if you think about this, when you take 60, divide it by 20, when I look at my Q here, 20, do I get 3? I do. If I take 60 divided by 15, do I get 4? 60 divided by 12, I get 5. So notice that what is my constant going to be? That's going to be 60. So the relationship between the variables is going to be 60 right there. That is my k, my constant. Okay, so that's all you need to do. Don't need to graph it, just finding the relationship there. And this I did x times y to get my k, my 60. Okay, last example. Here we're working with finding interest compounded annually, and this kind of relates a little bit to some stuff maybe you saw last semester as well. It says the amount of time t in years that it takes to double a given amount of money with interest compounded annually can be approximated by the function t equals 72 over r. So that's set up as T equals 72 over R, where R is the annual interest rate. In this application, percent is not converted into decimal form. For example, if the annual interest was 7%, then R is just going to be your 7. So something to make note of that. How long is it going to take to double your money at 6% interest compounded annually? So we're going to use this formula, given our R is 6%, to find how long it's going to take to double our money. So I'm going to set this up as 72 over my percent. Remember, you don't change that to a decimal. It stays just 6. And 72 divided by 6 is going to be 12. So what it's going to do is it's going to take 12 years to double your money. To double your money at 6% interest. Okay, and that's all you need to know. And you'll probably be working with this as well in the homework. So just all these examples we did, you'll see in your homework. You can go back and revisit this video. And good luck on your homework. Your homework for tonight is page 530. And you are doing numbers 8 through 27 all. And that will be due tomorrow, Tuesday.